Well, hey everyone, it's Sean again, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about detachment and self-observation. These are two practices, and they're actually skills if you once you really get into practicing them and using them all the time. But I learned these years ago when I was going to the school called the Ageless Wisdom University back in the 90s. And it's been incredibly helpful to learn how to practice what the meaning of it is, of detachment and self-observation, and then how to apply it. And I can see now, looking back, with what I'm doing with the Course in Miracles and how I'm applying it, that helped prepare me for this. And to be able to use this in my daily practice has been, I can't tell you how impactful it really is. So I wanted to share with you the real meaning of that and give you an idea how to apply it, to use this in your daily practices, because I think you're going to find it can increase your awareness quite a bit. So the real meaning of detachment, it's not the meaning, the psychological meaning that the modern psychology has giving it, which is more like being detached from reality and not caring or just be catatonic almost. But this form of detachment, and what Jesus uses this form of detachment in A Course in Miracles is what he calls stepping back. So step back with me, meaning detach from the meaning that you have given it, because it's our attachment to it, which is really a judgment anyway, but we're very attached to our judgments and we want to be right about them, and we go about defending those judgments and defending our attachment to it. And because of that, like Buddha said, remember Buddha said that all suffering is caused by attachment to this world. So we're attached to all the symbols of the world and the meaning we've given them, and that is the cause of all of our anger, anxiety, pain, suffering, and so forth. And so being willing to just step back, as Jesus said, just step back with me and let's look at it as it is. And so the only way to see it as it is to detach from the meaning. That's the judgment. Where Jesus just asked him, just step back with me so we can look at the judgment that you've made of it and the meaning you've made of it and see it as it is instead of how you wish it were, how you wish it to be. Because all that is what we wish to be true, and it's not. And so by detaching from it and just observing it, then we get to see it as it is. And just the very process of detachment, being willing to detach from it, step back with it, you automatically become the observer. And so now we become the self-observer. We're observing the little self with the big self, as a decision maker. And we're seeing, so, self-observation and detachment are one and the same. It's the same way. You may come at it from the point of view of self-observation. And when we're really observing, we're automatically detached. It's the same thing, whatever will work for you. But the power that really has for us is we can finally not be caught up in the illusion of it and see what we are doing to ourselves. And that's a very, very powerful experience to have, because now we see it as it is, like going, yeah, wow, I really did do that to myself because I wanted this to be true, and I went about doing everything, saying everything to make it true for me. And even though it wasn't, it was like, it was telling me that, there's nothing here. There's no happiness. There's no peace. There's no good outcome in this. And by remaining detached, and even when we're having conversation with others, we catch ourselves in situations where, this could get out of control if I'm attached to being right or wanting it my way. But if we just step back and look at it, okay, then we're able to ask, okay, Holy Spirit, how would you have me see this? What would you have me do here? Because as long as we're attached to it, no matter, and we can, what do you want me to do here, Holy Spirit? But we got to do it my way. No, it's not going to work. But when we step back and remain detached and observe it, like, okay, what would you have me do here? What would you have me say? How would you have me see this? Then the messages will come to us to get a lot more clarity with that, and we'll find ourselves speaking words that we wouldn't have thought of before without doing that. And we go, God, where'd that come from? Well, obviously from our right mind that we call the Holy Spirit. Because remaining attached, that's the ego strategy. It's that's in our wrong mind, what we call the wrong mind, the mind of illusion, the mind of, and it's, the ego wants us to be attached to it so that we don't give up it because it's only life, so-called life it has, is our belief in it. Without that belief and our attention, the mind's attention on it and attachment to that and being right about it, it has no life, it has no existence. It would be nothingness. We would see it as it is. And so the ego is very clever about doing all kinds of things to keep us attached and keep us, the mind, focused here and attached to it. And using fear, worry, anxiety, fear of the future, all that. All those are just tricks of the ego. And so this simple practice of remind yourself, when you catch yourself getting caught up, and you'll know because you're in either some kind of anger, worry, anxiety, fear, that's because you're attached to an outcome. You're attached to a fear of what may happen, or attached to what may not happen that you want to happen, and so forth. But when you just step back from it and just go, all right, okay, help me to see this as it is. And then we can make a really good decision from that point. Because once we see it as is, we'll know what to do or not do. And so be willing to just apply that. Start in the little things. You don't have to wait till something big happens. Just start with, in a small thing that may happen that you may see, okay, let me just try it here and see how I feel after I do it, after I apply it, and see what kind of insights you may get just from applying that. And because the more you make it a practice, the more powerful the experiences you will get around that. And this is also, think about, this is a way we develop trust in listening and following the Holy Spirit. Because now when we step back, we're not attached to the meaning we made of it. Now we can hear it. Now it's like, Jesus says, step back with me. As long as we're attached to something outcome, we remain separate in our minds. Even though it's only in our minds, we are remaining separate from our source, from that guidance. And so when we step back with it, then we can see what we made of it as it is, and then we'll know what to do. So I just wanted to make this video real quick and share with you that these ideas and these practices that I think you'll find very, very profitable for you. So with that, I'm going to end this here, and y'all have a wonderful day and be good to each other, okay? And be good to yourself also. And we'll see you in the next video.